So it's really late, but I've been thinking and, you know, I've realized a lot of things. Things are becoming more clear for me when it comes to relationships and men and all that jazz. So I told you all in a previous video about my best friend, like my lifelong best friend. Um, she just ended a 6-year relationship with a man who scammed her for 6 years. This man had a wife and 3 children and lied until the very last second until she had to find out the truth for herself. Okay. And this was the first man she had ever been with. She never dated anyone else. She never kissed anyone else. She's never been intimate with anyone else. And so to think about the devastation she's going through, she believed everything this man told her for 6 years. She was a virgin. She had no experience. Like she had no other boyfriends, no past lovers, no nothing. And it it all ended. And I mean, like she's my best friend, even though this isn't happening to me. Um, and I can only imagine what she's going through because this was her relationship, and she wasted 6 years of her life, with a man who used her, lied to her, whose family lied to her and scammed her, and it just makes me think. So here are some of the main signs. So she told me this man wanted to keep her around because she was giving him his family money. Anytime, so they're from abroad, they're not from the United States. So anytime his family members back home were in trouble or needed something, she would give him money to send to his family members. Okay. Okay, so a red flag and something really important for women to know is that if a man really, really likes you, he won't take from you. Like he won't want to use you as a workhorse and have you provide for him and his family. All the while he was taking money from her, all the while, she was paying rent for them. Um, he was paying the mortgage of his wife, and she never knew. Apparently, the wife kicked him out of the house because he had drinking problems, and the wife didn't want him around the children. My best friend was with this man for 6 years and never knew this man was married. Um, Everybody tried to tell her. Everybody tried to tell her to move on. Like go, leave him. She wouldn't listen to me. She wouldn't listen to her parents. She wouldn't listen to her sisters, her brothers who warned her. And I mean, I titled the video "On to the Next One" is because like I don't want anyone to end up like my friend. You know what I mean? I mean, like I understand we can have strong feelings for people, and I understand we can be madly in love with people. I understand, you know, we can be so connected and attached to people that even when they hurt us, even when they do the worst things to us, we don't want to let them go. However, you know, we have to be we have to act with the quickness when it comes to stuff like this. When someone is exploiting us, mistreating us, disrespecting us, we have to be quick and say, well, it's on to the next. Like, it's time for me to go get someone else. It's time for me to explore other options. Hey, Jessica Hicks. Hey, girl. I'm just sharing the sad story about my best friend who just got out of a 6-year relationship and never knew the man was married, never knew the man had 3 kids. And the saddest thing, and to make matters worse, it's not that he has. It's not just that he has 3 children. It's that one of one of his children are very very young. So that means he had been with the wife, procreating with his wife while he was with my best friend, acting as her boyfriend, right? Whew. And women are so trusting and so, you know, crave love, and I understand. I really do. I understand the want for love, the want for emotional connection, the want for a bond. But a lot of men out here are savages and they're brutal and they do not care. They do not care about women. They are out here trying to exploit, and they're merciless, right? Like they don't, I mean, like, this man destroyed my best friend's life. Yo. Like she wasted, I can't, like 6 years, 6 years, 6 years, lost her virginity to this man, gave this man everything, gave this man money, worked like a dog, lost a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, like right now she's broke. You know, she was staying with me. She was staying with my parents. She, finally, for a while she was staying with me. She was staying with, you know, my partner. She was staying with my parents, and just jumping from place to place to place because this man had her running all around and there was no stability. And finally her parents had taken her back, so she's going back home to her parents. She's 29, she's almost 30, gave everything to a loser, like. And this is why we have to be quick to entertain other options as women, because we can be way too nurturing, way too kind. So Jessica Hicks says, "Oh no, poor girl," and I agree. Men get away with what they can. Yes, they do. That's why we have to be quick. We have to act with the quickness when it comes to moving on. Like when it's time to move on, we gotta move on. We have to move on, right? Like, and it took all of that. It took her losing thousands of dollars. It took her losing 6 years of her prime. It took her. I mean, like now she's smoking cigarettes now. Because of all the stress this man is putting her through. So it takes her losing all this time, losing all this money, losing her good health. For what? For what? And that's why it's good for young women to have experience and actually to date around without giving so much of yourselves to these people. But just it's important not to be too attached. Like even for myself, like one way, like I've been emotionally attached to people, but I have still forced myself to date other people. I forced myself to date other people so that I had other options. I had distractions. I had something else to focus on if someone wasn't treating me right, or if someone was disrespecting me, or if someone was not prioritizing me. I always had other projects or other people to focus on, or the people to learn from, or the people to talk with. And we're social. We do need company. We do need intimacy. We do need relationships and bond building with other human beings. But it's important to give yourself options. It's important to go on to the next one. It's important to build up a roster of people, whether they be friends, whether they be dates, whether they are romantic interests. But it's good to have a large network of people, family, that you can always fall back on, because you never know who is going to betray you. You never know who's going to stab you in the back, and you never know who is fully telling the truth or not, unfortunately. And, I've been thinking about this for a couple of days because, my best friend has been over my place, over my parents' place, even my partner's place, just like trying to find refuge from a crazy man who decided to just steal her youth and her life and her beauty. I mean, when she started dating this man, my best friend was beautiful. She was fit. She kept her makeup done. She kept her hair up. Now it's like she's gained at least 60 pounds. She doesn't do any makeup. She doesn't keep up with herself. She doesn't prioritize herself. And she's running around like a crazy woman, going crazy over a man who had 3 children and a wife, and I mean, like, was just with his wife, having sex with his wife while they were together, because his wife is pregnant. I mean, has a very young child by him. She has a very young child by him and is also pregnant. The woman that he married. So while he's paying the mortgage of his wife, my best friend is paying the rent for him. My best friend was giving him money to give to his family abroad in the country they are from. And, I've said this before, but I'll say it again. Women, if a man really, really cares about you and he really likes you and he really sees a future with you and he's truly, genuinely interested in you, then he will not ask you for money. He will not say, hey, my parents are blah, 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 blah. They need money. Can you send them money to another country abroad, 7,000 miles away? They're not going to do that because they are going to want to protect and provide for you. They are going to want to be the masculine entity in your relationship. And any man who truly wants a woman, wants to see masculine around a woman, wouldn't dare part his lips to ask that woman for any type of money, any type of help, because he would do that. He would play his role and pick up that slack. Okay. Okay. So that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to say, never be afraid to be on to the next one. Anytime someone acts up, go on to the next one. Disappear. Entertain someone else. Because you know what? People appreciate what is scarce and what is not always easily attainable. And even though it may hurt, and even though you may want to maintain a connection because you have a bond and you feel like you miss that person, it's better to try to build relationships and rapport with other people. So you have some type of refuge and you have some type of backup when things don't go right. Because unfortunately, a lot of the people you date will try you. They will push their boundaries and they will try you. They'll see what they can get away with. Like Jessica Hicks says, men get away with what they can. Men get away with what they can. So create options for yourself. Never commit to just one thing. And that is a definite form of power when you do not commit to one person or one thing or one entity. Okay. All right. So I hope this was helpful. I hope the story about my best friend is helpful. This is still fresh in my mind. I might mention this again in future videos to give updates about how things progress. But yeah, if you have any questions, please let me know. Please leave a comment. Please ask in the chats or whatever. And I'll be here. And if you have any suggestions for any new video topics, let me know. Okay? All right. See you guys. Good night. Good night.